tuned into 91.9 FM KCSB Radio in Santa Barbara, and my name is Lady J, and right now you're hearing music from Lucy Morningstar. And who do we have joining us tonight? None other than Lucy Morningstar herself. Greetings and love, Lucy.
Blessings, Lady J. It's great to be here with you tonight. How are you?
I'm blessed, and it's always good to have musicians and artists on KCSB Radio, so thank you for joining us. My radio show is called Fire Upon Rome, and it's been on KCSB again since the 90s, and we've always focused on the genres of reggae and dancehall and even dub music, and I know that your sound kind of incorporates reggae music. It certainly incorporates reggae music. Talk about the Lucy Morningstar sound.
Thank you. I am honored to be on your show, and my sound has been a long time in the making. I'd say that it's changed a lot throughout my career in some ways and also remained the same. I am a songwriter that likes to explore different genres, so reggae being one of my first loves has always been a big influence to me and a sound that I've found naturally in the writing and process of coming up with new music. It's just always struck into many of the rhythms and the ways that I compose. I also have been inspired a lot by ska music and by oldies and music that dates back to even the 50s and 60s, and I feel that the universal sound of what calls to me is really more about the lyrics and the melodies and the way that that creates a vibe for the listener. So my sound has cultivated something that has been heavily influenced by my inspirations.
Now, I know you're a native of New York, and I know there's definitely a lot of Caribbean people on the East Coast. So, I'm not surprised that, you have this fusion of island reggae. And is that fused with, again, some folk and ska? Is that the fusion?
That is what kind of sound I go for. It's a tropical folk mixed with reggae ska sound.
Now, it's no secret that, Jamaican roots reggae, it's influenced, many sprouting subgenres of reggae. And, we now have the Cali roots sound, the Cali vibe sound that is most specific to California. For you, what Jamaican artists or even Caribbean artists have inspired you, or even artists that has always been on your playlist,
I would say that there have been a lot of Caribbean artists, and being that I'm from New York, I think that I was raised around a lot of world music vibes and like dance hall. So I've been listening to more old school artists like from back in the day, where I started with like Peter Tosh and Dennis Brown and Yellow Man, and newer music that has come out from like Chronix and Capleton and people from Hawaii as well, who have like a island reggae kind of vibe. But out of Jamaica, I would say, I recently had collaborated with a band that I really like, who's a newer band called Earth Cry. And they were an amazing group of people to work with in the studio, because they brought so much to this spontaneous energy and creation that we came up with. And these 3 songs that we recorded, including one that came out in February called Journey to the Other Side. We have 2 more songs that are coming out. And ever since we recorded those, I feel like it made me feel the connection between myself and Jamaica after having gone there twice. Now, the listening back to what music I created made me solidify kind of why I was so moved by the style. I think this freedom and a improvisational kind of way about coming up with lyrics, and the vocals being based upon energy and sparking a message through just the sounds and ways that we use our voice as an instrument.
Well, I know that in addition to working with Earth Cry, especially with the song Journey to the Other Side, you've actually recently collaborated with a well-known veteran Jamaican producer. Talk about this album.
Yes, I just released in August, The Scientist meets Lucy Morningstar, which is a album that brings my band together with dub producer and legendary engineer The Scientist, who has had a really huge impact on reggae and dub music for many years now. So it was quite a big moment for us to get to do this music release in August, because it had been a long time in the works, and we had been talking about our collaboration and wanting to do a full album together. So this was definitely next level, and something that already has, I see, created some new opportunities for me as a musician and producer, because people are realizing that a lot of my music has been not released, the self-produced music, which is going to be released. And these are like versions of my songs, but yet I've been doing music creation and production for such a long time that by now it feels like I think there's a place for my music based upon getting to do these type of collaborative works with people who have contributed so much amazing of music that I love. It's like their devotion to the genre has become a part of why my music is being heard by more people, because the Scientist himself has such a wide spectrum of different kinds of listeners, and he is a person who's highly regarded for the type of productions that he's done. So it's been a real blessing for me to get to work with someone of that caliber.
Now, even though the album is called The Dub Side, I noticed that it definitely has even some modern ska flavor as well. Talk about this.
Yes, the dub side of the record has also, it's an upful feeling that I was looking to create, with a feeling that is universal, coming across chill upon listening to, and it's not really as overbearing lyrically or, you know, maybe as some other things, but it isn't also as instrumental as some of my music. So kind of is a nice blend between the more lyrical music and the music that I have that is more reggae ska, and I'm stoked to see it getting some airplay and circulation, and the streaming numbers going up. That feels pretty significant to me.
Now, what are some of your favorite highlighted tracks on the album?
I feel that Shameless, Better When You Were Here, Tell Me That It's True, and Ska Song have probably been, you know, my favorites on that release.
Now, I know that Santa Barbara recently hosted the Reggae on the Mountain Festival with over 40 artists. And, I really enjoyed seeing artists like Empress Sativa, Empress Akua, Rastam, Black Hero, even So Majestic, and Santa Barbara's very own Cornerstone. And of course, as you mentioned, Yellow Man and Don Carlos. I know you were there. Tell me about your Reggae on the Mountain highlights and experience.
Reggae on the Mountain was sweet. I didn't know it would be quite as epic of an experience for me, but I kind of decided last minute that I just had to go, and I had wanted to. I just didn't know how I'd make it possible with my dog. And she came with me, and her and I went out the first night together and met lots and lots of friends and people that both we knew from the past, people I had played on festivals and different lineups with, and also got to see some bands that I wanted to see. The second day was filled with artists that I'd wanted to see, and I got to see Don Carlos, and I got to see Yellow Man and Sensi Trails, and they were really great. It was through and through an amazing festival and event. I loved the people, the vibe was just on point. It really is more about the energy of people for me when I go to bigger events. So I could see that it was super dialed in the right way with the vendors and the people who were all there for the love of it, which is what makes a good festival.
Yeah, and you mentioned something very important. And, speaking of playing on festivals, you have no shortage of live performance gigs, whether it's in Long Beach or Simi Valley, or I believe your upcoming show in San Marcos. You definitely are booking shows, and I always see you with your guitar. So, do you play any other instruments?
Yeah, I play bass, I play keyboard, and I've played harmonica, melodica, mandolin, banjo on my recordings, a little of everything. However, yeah, I even played drums on my recent release, Butterflies, and I'm hoping to bring more of the instrumentation into my upcoming performances too.
Yeah, so there is a Lucy Morningstar band.
Yeah, there is. I've been doing a lot of my events lately with the band, and I also still am playing some events solo and doing some private events.
Lucy, as an actress, as a producer, as a singer and songwriter, you're definitely going to stay so busy. And, I just want to say give thanks for giving KCSB just a moment of your time. And we look forward to hearing more from Lucy Morningstar in the future.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on your show, Lady J. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do this with you tonight. So thank you for making a spot for me.
All right, give thanks.
This is Lucy Morningstar, and you're listening to 91.9 KCSB with Lady J.